Only 7 to go this time by. Richie takes it into 1. Jeff's right behind him.
7 laps to go. They're head into turn 1. Oh, Jeff gives Evans a shot and sends him up the track. Bodine has now stretched his lead to 3. Make it 5-car length.
Jeff starting to inch away. The lead is up to 5-car lengths.
Bodine continues to inch away, but lap traffic will certainly be a problem. Now Evans is starting to reel him in. He's right on his bumper. He puts the bumper to him here in 3. Jeff gets loose. Evans back to the lead.
Last chance for Jeff is to cross the line for the final time.
Evans is now 3-car lengths. Oh, Jeff gives Evans a shot and sends him up the track. But Evans isn't done yet. He drives it back out of the corner. They slam into each other. They're in the wall.
Evans' car is up riding the wall. He is going to cross the start-finish line and win.
The Pre-Tour Golden Age, 1972 to 1985. Key characteristics of this era: dominance of independent stars. This was the peak era for icons like Richie Evans, Jerry Cook, Bugsy Stevens, and Jeff Bodine. The Tour wasn't yet fully unified under a single national sponsor or governing schedule, but regional dominance, especially in the Northeast, was clear. New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Massachusetts became hotbeds of modified racing. Weekly shows at Stafford, Thompson, Islip, and Martinsville were major draws. The NASCAR National Modified Championship, a point system across all sanctioned events, rewarded consistency and travel, not just wins. From coupes to pintos. By the mid-1970s, the classic 1930s-style coupes gave way to sleeker bodies, like the Ford Pinto, Chevrolet Vega, and Gremlin. These bodies were lighter, more modern-looking, and adaptable to tube frame innovation. While NASCAR awarded a modified national championship, there was no unified tour schedule until the official formation of the NASCAR Modified Tour in 1985. The era was known for its intense rivalries, rough driving, and regional pride. Tracks were often dangerous and rules loosely enforced. Many drivers doubled as builders, crew chiefs, and haulers.
Jim Champagne, best known for his radical innovations in super modifieds, Champagne was also a top modified competitor at Oswego and other New York tracks. His rear-engine modifieds stirred controversy and success in equal parts during the mid-1970s. While not a full-time NASCAR modified racer, his influence and occasional dominance during this era were impossible to ignore. A Massachusetts modified staple, Summers was one of the last to race the old coupes and transition seamlessly into the Pinto era. He won major races at Seekonk, Thompson, and Stafford, often outdueling younger stars in the mid to late 70s. Summers had a remarkably long career, retiring with over 100 feature wins. Jerry Cook Jr., while his father was a 6-time champ, Jerry Jr. carved his own path locally in upstate New York. Though not a national contender, he held his own in weekly events during the late 70s and early 80s. Jim Spencer Sr., the father of Mr. Excitement, Jim Spencer Sr. was a respected journeyman who raced hard in the Pennsylvania and New York regions. He laid the groundwork for his son's rise, showing flashes of brilliance during this era. Al Hill, a dominant force at Bowman Gray Stadium, Al Hill captured several features and was always in the championship mix. Known for his aggressive corner entries and short track savvy, Hill represented the Southern modified scene with pride. He was also a frequent headliner in special midweek invitationals. Merv Treichler, one of Western New York's finest, Merv Treichler was a standout at Lancaster and Oswego, winning multiple track titles in the 1970s. He had a notable 1981 season that included a top 3 national finish. Merv also proved himself against the best by winning the 1981 Race of Champions. Philip Smith, a powerful figure in the Southern modified ranks, Smith earned a reputation for being nearly unbeatable at tracks like Bowman Gray. He was a multiple-time track champion and played a pivotal role in maintaining Southern competitiveness during a Northern-dominated era. Smith was also a key figure in modified racing's weekly wars well into the early 80s. Top 25 countdown. 25. Billy Hensley, a quiet but lethal force from Virginia. Billy Hensley was a master of Martinsville and South Boston in the 1970s. His smooth style and mechanical feel made him especially effective in long-distance modified features. Hensley consistently ran near the front in Southern Showcase events and collected several major wins during the Golden Era. While he kept a low profile, his results spoke volumes. 24. Ray Hendrick. Known as Mr. Modified, Ray Hendrick was already a legend entering the 70s, but still winning big during the early Golden Era. He dominated Martinsville's Dogwood and Cardinal 500s and was feared at Southside, Bowman Gray, and beyond. Hendrick's aggressive style and high car count made him one of the winningest short-track drivers in history. He set the bar for Southern excellence in modified racing. 23. Ray Miller. A rising New England star in the early 1980s, Miller finished second in the 1982 NASCAR modified standings, just 1 point ahead of Jimmy Spencer in a tight battle. He was a frequent winner at Thompson and Stafford, known for smooth driving and consistency. His promising career ended tragically in 1983, but he had already proven himself among the top modified racers of the era. 22. Dick Fowler. A tough runner on the upstate New York circuit, Dick Fowler quietly built a strong resume in the mid-1970s. He earned respect racing at Lancaster and Spencer, often matching laps with the region's best. Fowler never chased national headlines, but was a weekly threat on home turf during the heart of the Golden Era. 21. Rick Donnelly. Rick Donnelly emerged as a solid regional threat in the early 80s, especially across New England's fast half miles. He didn't chase headlines but delivered results, finishing strong in tour shows and at weekly bull rings like Thompson and Stafford. Donnelly had a reputation for mechanical reliability and long-run speed. While not a household name, he earned respect by racing clean and keeping fast company. Scoot 20. Billy Osmond, a New Jersey standout. Osmond was a consistent winner at tracks like Wall Stadium, Flemington, and Nazareth. He transitioned successfully between dirt and asphalt, which made him especially dangerous in open competition shows. Osmond was known for strong finishes in long-distance events and delivered multiple top 5 runs in national races. His smart, methodical approach gave him staying power during a wildly competitive era. Now 19. Bentley Warren. Though better known for his super-modified success, Bentley Warren was a force in modifieds through the early and mid-70s. He regularly battled the top New England talent at tracks like Thompson and Stafford, where his smooth throttle control set him apart. Warren's versatility helped him shine in a variety of chassis and formats. Even after moving to other divisions, he remained a respected figure in the modified community. 18. Ralph Brinkley. One of Bowman Gray Stadium's fiercest weekly warriors, Ralph Brinkley owned the tight Winston-Salem bull ring in the 70s. His aggressive yet calculated driving style earned him multiple championships and weekly dominance in front of packed grandstands. Brinkley helped define the Southern modified scene during this era. While he rarely ventured north, his regional impact was undeniable. 17. Ed Flemke Sr., Steady Eddie, remained a major modified presence into the 70s, even after dominating the 60s. He won races at Stafford and Thompson and passed down his vast knowledge to future legends like Richie Evans and Ron Bouchard. Flemke was also instrumental in developing chassis setups that became widely adopted across the region. His mix of talent, mentorship, and mechanical savvy made him a cornerstone of the era. 15. Satch Worley was one of the South's most polished short-track aces, with multiple championships at Bowman Gray and key victories at Martinsville. He thrived in tight spaces, making bold passes look routine. Worley also proved himself on larger ovals in tour competition during the early 80s. His blend of Southern toughness and technical feel made him a cross-regional contender. 14. A triple RIC winner and one of the era's top innovators, Maynard Troyer dominated with both his driving and his engineering. He won the Spring Sizzler 3 years in a row from 1977 to 1979, an unmatched feat at Stafford. Troyer's self-built chassis became the foundation of success for countless other teams by the mid-80s. He brought brains and bravery to the forefront of modified racing. 13. Brian Ross. Brian Ross had a breakout 1984, capturing the NASCAR National Modified title and the Race of Champions at Pocono. He was one of the smoothest drivers on the tour and a regular winner across upstate New York tracks like Shangri-La and Spencer. His short peak was timed perfectly against stiff competition, giving him a spotlight season that rivaled anyone's. Ross showed that patience and clean lines could beat brute force. George Kent. Known as the Duke of the Southern Tier, George Kent was dominant on New York's asphalt circuit for over a decade. He won the 1981 Race of Champions and was a fixture at Shangri-La and Oswego. Kent was especially deadly in extra-distance races, where his smooth driving and tire conservation paid off. He was one of the few drivers from the region who could consistently challenge Evans head-to-head. 11. Jimmy Spencer. Before his Cup days, Mr. Excitement was turning heads in the modifieds with wild moves and fearless attacks. He won the 1983 Race of Champions and was a terror at tracks like Pocono, Oswego, and Shangri-La. Even as a young driver, Spencer had zero hesitation mixing it up with the best. His raw aggression made every race a show. 10. Ron Bouchard. Ron Bouchard was one of the cleanest and smartest drivers of the late 70s, collecting wins at Stafford, Thompson, and Westboro. He won the 1978 World Series of Asphalt Championship and was a favorite in every New England headliner. Driving the bowler number 3, Bouchard beat Evans and Bodine in straight-up fights. His smooth style and technical intelligence made him a model racer of the era. 9. Paul Radford. A Southern legend, Paul Radford brought grace and fire to every short track he raced. In 1977, he swept both the modified and sportsman 250s at Martinsville, an unheard of feat. He dominated across the Carolinas and Virginia well into the early 80s. Radford was the kind of racer that Northern invaders had to reckon with. 8. Reggie Ruggiero. Though his tour dominance came slightly after this window, Reggie Ruggiero was already a force by 1983. He ran up front at Stafford, Thompson, and Riverside, battling the likes of Evans, Sachs, and Spencer. His car control and throttle finesse were top tier, and his battles with Richie Evans were among the era's best. Ruggiero's early roots laid the groundwork for one of the tour's winningest careers. Greg Sachs. In 1982, Greg Sachs set the modified world on fire, winning 28 races, the national title, and the Race of Champions. Driving the Dream Machine number 5, he also swept the Spring Sizzler in 82 and 83. That run was one of the most dominant in the sport's history. Sachs made it clear he was ready for the next level, and he proved it with a Cup win just 3 years later. 6. Charlie Jarzembek. Jarzembek was Long Island's finest, a multiple-time Riverhead and Islip champ who branched out to win across New England. In 1982, he won 29 of 42 races and nearly took the national title. He proved himself on bigger tracks too, with wins at Pocono and Stafford. Known for innovation and intensity, Charlie's modified legacy is unmatched among Long Island legends. Like Evans, he lost his life at Martinsville Speedway. Fred DeSaro. A former national champ and inaugural Spring Sizzler winner, Fred DeSaro was the gold standard of the early 70s. In 1974, he won the Race of Champions at Trenton and led Bowler's Old Blue program with precision and pride. He was one of the few drivers who could outthink and outrun Evans on any given night. His untimely death in 1978 cut short what could have been a dynasty. 4. Bugsy Stevens. Bugsy Stevens brought a championship pedigree from the 60s and remained elite through the mid-70s. He won the Martinsville Dogwood 500 multiple times and never lost his edge at places like Thompson and Seacombe. Charismatic and cunning, Bugsy was both a showman and a racer. He bridged the old guard and the new with flair. 3. Jeff Bodine. In 1978, Bodine had the most statistically dominant season in modified history, 55 wins and 84 starts. He captured the Stafford Championship, the Race of Champions, and beat Evans in several head-to-head duels. Known for perfectionism and relentless pace, was a machine behind the wheel. His modified peak was brief but legendary. 2. Jerry Cook. Cook was the ultimate technician, winning 6 national titles between 1971 and 1977. He didn't win every night, but he almost never finished outside the top 5. Cook's calm, calculated style made him the perfect foil to Richie Evans' chaos. When he retired in 1982, he left behind a legacy of control and class. 1. The undisputed king of modified racing, Richie Evans was on another level during the golden era. The Rapid Roman from Rome, New York, won 9 NASCAR modified championships between 1973 and 1985, including an unprecedented 8 in a row from 1978 to 1985. He was a relentless competitor, often racing 5 nights a week and hauling his iconic orange number 61 wherever the money and competition were toughest. Evans combined aggression with finesse, able to push a car to the front and still save enough to win long-distance races. He won nearly every major event of the era, including multiple Race of Champions, 3 Spring Sizzlers, the Thompson 300, and Martinsville's Cardinal Classic. One of his most iconic moments came at Martinsville in 1981, in a shower of sparks to beat Jeff Bodine in what many call the greatest modified finish ever. Tragically, Evans was killed in a practice crash at Martinsville in 1985, just days after clinching his final title. He was posthumously honored in 1986 as the #1 modified driver in NASCAR history, a title no one has ever questioned.